Afternoon. I almost just said good afternoon.
Good evening. We hope
Good,
we have some,
good evening.
We hope we have our faithful viewers and maybe some new people.
Yeah, let's hope we got some new people. So, as usual, I am your host, Nemo, and I am joined with our other usual host, Madam Rissa.
Hey, everybody.
So, as you guys can see in the background, we had some issues.
Oh, issues do not even begin to describe what frickin' happened here.
And now it's doing the echoing thing again.
And we've got reverb. We're gonna attempt to fix this now.
This is wonderful. Yeah, this is very wonderful. So while I'm fixing this, how is everybody's night doing? Everybody doing okay?
What about other than technical
the big technical difficulties. Oh, hello, Teddy. We have a Teddy in the room, our usual.
Teddy.
Yeah, we have Avalon also monitoring the chat. So if anybody has any questions, all you gotta do is message her.
A shout out to our Avalon. It's her birthday today.
Yes.
Happy birthday, my little pumpkin.
Yeah, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Okay, so anyway, hey, let's just say this night
Everything that can go wrong
has gone wrong
tonight.
Yeah. Is there any more reverb, our lovely Avalon? Can she hear me? You're not hearing any reverb? Good.
Maybe it's just getting some.
You know what? It probably was from the
Oh, there we go. It seems better.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing it anymore.
I know. No more reverb. Okay. So, should we give people a couple minutes?
If you want.
Okay. Yeah, we'll give people a couple minutes, because I know that sometimes people kind of pour in at the. Although I would think that there would be a lot today. So far just a Teddy. And Miss Avalon, if you could actually put up on our Facebook page that we are now live. Some people may have tried to get on, and they may have thought that we weren't doing it because, 6 o'clock rolled around and we were still fighting with our technology.
But we are here for your entertainment.
For your entertainment.
For those about to rock, salute.
Ugh. Not even joking. The night has just been, it really has been so chaotic. We get back to the studio and we're sitting there and we're chilling, and I come into the studio and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna get all of the equipment set up. And the equipment was like, nope. Oh, you want that light to work? No. 3 different lights. 3.
Yep.
Stopped working. Stopped. Just completely stopped. No reason. No reason at all.
Some random crap, yo.
Yep. It's
It's not okay.
No, it really isn't. It really is not. It's been difficult tonight, but you know what? We made it. We're here. We're having some fun.
Yeah.
And look, my hair is like all frizzy and everything from running around.
Mine is hiding under my hat. I am glamorous.
Vogue. And so for if there's anybody new that's in the room, first we want to say welcome, and second we want to say normally we have our logo behind us.
We had technical difficulties.
Yeah, and so the green screens weren't really functioning correctly, and then we had 3 lights that we plugged in, and all 3 of them, all 3 just stopped working. Don't know why. Haven't figured it out. We plugged them into like what, 3 different outlets.
Because technology friggin'
You know,
it's rebelling.
it really is. Like, and this is a constant, like, it's like a theme on Spirit Talk now. Like, it really is a humongous theme on Spirit Talk that technology just decides that it does not want to work.
Not just on Spirit Talk, but like on our investigations too. It's freaking ridiculous.
Yes, especially at Rutland. And we got some news this week that so we're not going to tell you guys where we're going to be, but one of the places that we had talked about in the past, we got approval finally from the Board of Selectmen, and we should be filming within the week.
Getting through that red tape was.
It was hard.
Off.
Oh my god, girl, look at you. Do that. Yeah, there you go. We are just a barrel of laughs tonight, aren't we? Just a barrel of laughs. So, anyway, so tonight we actually, we have a subject that we haven't talked about yet. We have not talked about yet, and how that happens, I couldn't tell you. But it's a weird subject. Well, it's a weird subject for us in particular because, like, we don't usually. We're more into the spirit, Jazzy. We're more into like the spiritual, ghost spirits, all that wonderful jazz. So, but tonight I thought that it would be a little different if we talked about the UFOs and aliens and all of that beautiful stuff, because we haven't talked about it yet. It's been one of those things where we've been we focus so much on the I guess regular paranormal, because UFO stuff is considered paranormal, right? Like, you would consider that somewhat paranormal,
I suppose.
yeah. So, but when I think paranormal, I think spirits, ghosts, all of that shebang. But I figured that, and the idea came to me, it was actually about like 4 or 5 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sitting in my recliner doing my stuff, and I was watching something on UFOs.
Mm-hmm.
And it dawned on me, I was like, oh my god, we haven't actually talked about UFO stuff or aliens or anything like that.
Well, it's not something we particularly deal with like head on. But I suppose
yeah, no,
it's a talkable thing, but it's not really a go out and hunt it sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, maybe sometime in the future, when we'll take a trip down to Area 51 or some crazy place like that, because there are some places actually around there, though, around Area 51 specifically, that I did want to go and do an investigation at, and it wasn't because of the aliens, the UFOs and stuff like that.
More spiritual.
It was spiritual, and I guess there's this mine that has been closed down,
right,
And so the mine has, I guess, paranormal activity going on. And some people say that it's, it's has to do with Area 51 and it's, spirits and, well, no, not spirits, but aliens and things like that. And I was watching something about a month ago on that. One of the paranormal investigators that I watch on YouTube, he did Area 51, and he's actually done Area 51 a few times. And he went into this mine. And so some of the stuff that he was pointing out, I'm like, that doesn't sound like aliens to me. That sounds more,
See, I don't necessarily know how much of our equipment other than a camera could capture
well, like for
us personally.
Yeah, and so I think we're not set up for that. Like the only thing that we're set up for is spirits and ghosts and regular paranormal things. Cuz we have, cuz our investigations that's where we are at this stage.
It's not like we can go walking out into the desert.
Yeah, no.
So sorry.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Remember, on Twitch, it's fine. On YouTube, on the other hand, we nope. YouTube will yell at us, and then we get what is it?
Demonetized.
Thank you. That's the word that I was going for.
Bad.
Yeah. Well, because YouTube just sucks the fun out of everything. So yeah. So like. Like we're not really set up for stuff like that,
No.
But for whatever reason, I'm saying there is a draw, there is, and I think it's that more like mystical aspect to it than it is anything else.
And I tell you, hell if I know. I don't know what I believe. I just know that we're not alone in this.
No.
They say universe, but I don't think so.
And what gets me though is how single-minded people can be about it. I can't remember who said it, but someone said that us as human beings, we can't deal with anything beyond our reality, beyond what's in front of us. But it would be very, it would be ignorant to say that we are the only, life out there in the universe.
I agree.
And so, but, was it Stephen Hawking's that said that, because, like, how people have been looking for, like, what is it, radio frequencies and things like that? And I remember hearing something, I think it was Stephen Hawking's, and he said that, there may be a reason that it's quiet. How do we know that when we're projecting out the sound, maybe there's a reason that it's quiet. And I think he was going more towards the, maybe there was another race that wiped out a bunch of other races. My personal thing is, you got to think that the nearest star is like, thousands upon thousands of miles away from here. You're talking light years. I think the nearest star is like 4 light years away. And so you got to think, it takes 8 minutes from the time light hits the sun and comes out of the sun. It takes 8 minutes for it to get to Earth. In retrospect, we're still, millions of miles away from the sun, but in retrospect, we're close, we're in a good close proximity to it.
Right.
Now, if it takes 8 minutes for it to hit Earth, and that's light, and light travels faster than sound.
Right.
How long do you think it would take, even at the closest star, that it would take for something to get to us?
I don't know. They talk about colonizing on Mars and the moon. So
that is true. Supposedly, they're gonna be revisiting the moon. I don't know if you heard about it. Yeah, so supposedly they're gonna be doing they're gonna be sending people, astronauts back up to the moon. And I think the last time I saw, I think they said by 2030 is when it's, so it's going to be soon. It's going to be within our lifetime.
I would love to have somebody bring me back some dust. That would be amazing.
That would be pretty cool. How cool would it be if you could just go to, like, say, NASA and just, you know, purchase a...
Yeah, it'd totally be like, hey,
give me some...
bring back some moon dust so that, you know, the general populace can
have some fun with
have
it.
some fun with that. And
how cool would that be, though, to, like, hold something, you know?
and that's the thing, is like the moon is sacred to a pagan.
Oh, yeah.
And to hold that in your hand would be amazing.
Yes, it would. It would. It would definitely be amazing. Like
how many of your spells could that empower?
all of it.
Right.
All of it.
And different
Yeah.
things.
And like there were so many different things, you know, like lately I've been writing some stuff on moon magic, and it's just thinking about having something even as simple as like a tiny moon rock.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, but the thing is too is some people go, well, you know, the moon is made up of pretty much the same stuff that Earth is. You know, like we share our stuff with the moon, and it's like, but it's not the same. You know, it hasn't been sitting untouched, undisturbed for, you know, millions of years. Like,
that's the thing, is that it's not the same anymore. Like, once upon a time, many moons ago, as they say,
yep.
there was water on the moon. There was life on the moon, but
Was there really?
I
Or
think
are they just speculating?
Yeah, well, maybe they're speculating, but there used to be water on the moon. There's evidence of that.
Okay, yeah,
Same
no,
thing
that,
with Mars. There
yeah.
used to be water on Mars
Yeah.
too. So clearly there was some kind of life there.
It-
If there was water to
at some
support it.
point, yeah. And there was actually something on that, and I think it has to be a conspiracy theory. It really does, because like every half of the stuff that's out there is conspiracy theories. But somebody was saying that maybe Mars is desolate because the civilization that colonized Mars
I think they
sucked it dry.
They screwed.
It sucked it dry, and
Screwed the pooch.
yeah, and because from my understanding, I don't believe Mars is a dead planet. I believe it's
No,
still
they
active
found-
underneath.
They found. Granted that it's like very small microbes of life where there used to be water, have you, but like it's not a place you want to colonize on. I don't know why they're considering that.
I
Other
think it's
than
the
living
outreach.
like a space station.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's that outreach, you know, like humans, like we have that need to reach for the stars, so to speak, you know.
Yes.
We have that natural want and drive to want to move further, you know, than our own planet, to see beyond the stars, to see what's out there, and it's just it's built out of pure curiosity, you know. So it's not surprising. It's not surprising in the least bit that, you know, we want to start colonizing Mars. We want to start colonizing the...
That's the thing, that like it's not like it's a viable planet to live on. You'd have to live in space, a built space station.
Yeah.
Like
Well, they're saying...
you'd have to put a colony like
Yeah.
in oxygen and
And like, I guess there's... So there's...
arboretum and everything to sustain.
Yeah, and like they're talking about how they could extract that movie what is it Mission to Mars? It's the one that the guy gets left behind
I
on
think
Mars.
so.
And they're talking about the reality of a water reclaimer and being able to take water from either the soil or the atmosphere or what have you, and be able to return it into drinkable water.
I don't trust that.
Mm, oh,
I don't trust that.
that's a whole different discussion.
All astronauts can have that.
Yeah, you can enjoy that. But that, just that aspect though, when you sit and you think, like, there was once water there, there was once possibly life there, was there a civilization that sucked the planet dry? Was there, because they speculate that Mars died off on its own because its atmosphere was stripped away by the sun. It just wasn't capable of handling the bombardment that Earth can handle, because its atmosphere was thinner, its polar magnetic field wasn't as strong, or what have you. But I do kind of believe in that theory of, maybe there was an alien civilization on Mars and they sucked their planet dry. And stop and think for 2 seconds that we as a species, we have been on Earth for who knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
What are the odds, what are the possibilities that maybe we were once Martians?
I have a theory that blew Avalon's mind. I think that people have gifts, like the psychic gifts, so on and so forth. Maybe a lot of practitioners and such. I think that we're all part alien. And that's why.
Oh, I agree.
And that I don't know if we were left here to test the place out or to be forefront of,
Well, some people even speculate that we're guinea pigs.
Right.
We were put on this planet to colonize it and populate it and see where it went.
And that the reason why, some of us are so sensitive, emotion, pollutants, etc., and so on, is because our DNA is just a touch different, and that's actually proven.
Yep. Our DNA is very different compared to
Yep.
to others, and when you stop and think about that, though, because how they say that Africa is the cradle of life.
Pangea, when it was all put together, Pangea.
Yeah. And so, but if you look at like hieroglyphics, from the Egyptians, you look at things like, the Mayans and some, cave paintings and drawings and stuff like that.
Yes.
If you stop and think about that for like a minute, some of those things do depict, what we in our day would call a spaceman, with helmets and, flying crafts and things like that, and think that, we have flying crafts now. But and if you look at some of the similarities between like astronauts today and take some of like the cave drawings, for instance, and it does, like, there have been almost like proven science to it that you're looking at an astronaut. And there's also been, here's another one, this is probably blow your mind. Some people have even said that, what if the aliens are not aliens? What if it's us from the future coming back and looking? Like, when I heard that, I was like, no, there's no way. But Einstein,
That's the thing, is that there is evidentiary, like, substance to say that we could go back. They're trying to figure that out,
yeah,
but not forward.
no. And so, you know, like it's stuck with me that it's like when I first heard that you know, that theory, I'm like, you know, no way, no, there's no way that could be right. But then you stop and you kind of think that like a lot of the you know, ancient hieroglyphs and, you know, cave paintings and things like that, like some of them do look like people, you know, like us. And so it's just, I guess it's just a weird way of thinking, you know, because it could just be ignorance on my part, but it's just like it's so far out there in modes of thinking that I guess my brain just can't comprehend something like that even being feasible. You know, but I guess Einstein said that it was possible. You know, he did the I guess he did like some sort of theory or thesis or something on it.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm not all up to that. But it brings questions though. Like it really does. It brings questions. You know, like what else is out there? You know, what's further than our own backyard? You know, we know our planets. We know the things around us.
They need to stop screwing with Pluto.
Yeah, poor Pluto has been picked on a lot. You know what? Let's put this into the room. Who thinks Pluto should be left alone and be considered a planet?
It is. We grew up that way.
Yep.
With the whole little rhyme thing.
Yeah,
It
my very educated mother just served us pizza.
just served us 9 pizzas.
Nine pizzas. Was
Yeah.
it 9 pizzas? Yeah.
Yeah, 9 pizzas.
nine.
Neptune.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor Neptune. I just left Neptune out. You know,
Did.
you know,
Stop
that
hating on the
poor
planet.
guy. Oh, I am so, you know what? I'm Neptune racist.
You are. That's bad. That's
There
the
is no
water-
Neptune.
That's the water planet, Neptune.
You know, and I'm a water element. You would
Are. You
figure.
better cut that crap out.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Stop that.
You kidding?
Bad.
Neptune. I just literally
You
booted
bet you.
Neptune in the face.
You.
Yeah.
Stop that.
Yeah, definitely. Who thinks Pluto should be left alone and be considered a planet? You know, I
It
raised my
always
hand.
Was. I raised my hand.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, it always was, and it always
Yes.
will. In my heart, it will always be. And they're like, oh, you remember for a while there, they're like, oh, no, it's not a planet.
And
It's
then they put it back, and then they took it away.
yeah.
and
So what they did is when they did
it's
the
it's a mini
Voyager.
planet.
Is it the Voyager mission that had the little ringy discs things that
I
had
don't remember.
the golden bracket or something? And I remember that they flipped the satellite over so that it could look at Pluto.
Mm-hmm.
And they saw that there was this atmosphere around it, which wasn't, nobody thought that, you know, a planet such as Pluto, everybody thought it was a dead planet. You know, that's why they were not calling it a planet, because they said that, you know, it's a dead planet. It doesn't have anything to it. It's not active. And when they turned the camera and put it into in looking at Pluto as the camera is going out to, you know, the satellite is going into interstellar space,
Right.
it captured an atmosphere and it shows that it's geologically active. And so when they found that, that's when, like, okay, well, Pluto's a planet again. And then they're like, wait, it doesn't fall in the definition of a planet as far as size, so now it's a dwarf planet. And it's like, no, leave Pluto alone.
They taught us that fun rhyme and everything. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not okay. Can't take that away from us.
Yeah. Yeah, even Teddy said that Pluto should be left alone.
Hits you in the member berries. Come on now.
Yeah. Like, what did Pluto ever do to them? You know?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Pluto was just out there trying to do its own thing and, you know, chilling, going along. He's like, yeah, I'm a planet like the rest of you. And, you know, us as humans, we have to go in and say, no. Squash Pluto's dreams.
Why does the planet talk?
Oh,
I'm so confused.
it talks in my mind. Okay, in my mind, it talks. You know, it talks. Yes.
Everybody, this one's a little broken. I don't know why we keep this one. Oh yeah, all the tech.
All the tech.
She deals with all the tech.
All the tech. I am the only one that
You're
can
tech
handle
bitch.
the tech.
You are tech bitch.
Yeah. Pluto needs to be left alone, and Neptune. I'm not Neptune racist anymore. I love Neptune
Promise. Lies. Vomit and lies.
now. Talk to me in about 5 minutes.
Vomit and lies.
But yeah, no. So getting back to the aliens and things like that, and so, but with like Mars and stuff, you know, like there's I can't personally, I cannot wait until we do go to Mars. Really? I never heard that.
Apparently,
Actually,
So apparently, in the clouds of Saturn, there's potential that humans can survive. I never heard that before. That one,
I like Saturn.
I want to hear about that.
Saturn is my favorite planet, so that's awesome.
You know why Saturn
Let's
is?
go flip and live near Saturn.
You know why Saturn is my favorite planet? Yes.
Is
Yes.
that
And random Avalon fact. And so like but you know what though? You know what? What I love the most about Saturn is, you know, because like I know that what is it, Uranus and Neptune have rings as well, but Saturn's
Saturn has
are
like,
so defined.
yeah.
Like, you know, and it's just to sit there and watch them.
And the fact that it's just like gases and such, they're not physical, like,
Yeah.
you can't physically step foot on them.
Yeah.
That's so ridiculous.
Well, they would kill you.
Yeah.
Because, you know, because it's chunks of like ice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it would tear right through you.
Yep.
But it's like, but it does make me think though. I'm like, oh, I wish I could dance on the Saturn rings.
Right?
You know, because it looks so inviting. No, it really doesn't.
But it'll kill you.
But it's like, you know, I will love the day that, you know, we do colonize Mars. And the reason that I feel that way is because when I stop and think, you know, like, yeah, we're going back to the moon, but it's been done, you know. And it's gonna be awesome, don't get me wrong. Like
They could find
something new. Yeah.
So long.
And so I am all for the moon, but my little heart is set on Mars. Is so set on Mars. Oh, gross. Apparently Ellie farted.
The new update for it.
Yeah, new update.
Poor Avalon is dying.
I can't. So yeah, but no, that would be cool. But you know what? And I think that the reason that I feel that way about Mars though is, you know how there's that face and there's supposedly a pyramid?
Yes.
And when, you know, they're like, no, that's not real. It's just what did they say? It's like an optical illusion that because of how the structure, the mountain or hill is formed,
Yeah.
that with the light hitting it just the right way, that's what makes it look like a face or a pyramid. But it's like, until we actually get there,
Right.
until we have
No.
hands and feet on the ground on Mars, what is waiting for us there?
Like, is it really an illusion, or is it?
Yeah. Well, I wonder that quite a bit. I really do. I wonder that quite a bit, because there's so much to Mars that it leads to so many different questions. A lot of different questions. And then there's what do you call that stuff? With Pluto, they found these like ripples or waves in the landscape that
Would suggest that there might have been a.
no, it looked like slug marks.
Oh.
Like there was like something that was dragging across the ground.
Huh.
and that brought up questions too. And then there's what is it, the moon Titan? I think it was Titan. I think it was Titan that has water, like actual water underneath the ice.
Mm-hmm.
And when they did another exploration using a satellite, they pointed the camera at Titan, and they found that Titan has an atmosphere. And in that atmosphere is some evidence to prove that there may be some sort of life. Methane pools?
Liquid methane.
Titan, yeah. It was something to indicate that there was some of the building blocks there that shows the possibility of life.
Actually, but there's a movie out there, sci-fi. Get the name of it. Guy who all to actually Titan and live there, and how he gets like all to actually live on this planet. It's actually really, it's actually really.
Yeah. Well, there was also that one movie, the one, it was also about Mars, and they had tried to I guess colonize it in a way, and they sent like some sort of like plant matter that could help oxygenate the atmosphere and things like that.
Okay.
And it had that, what do you call it, it had that robot that wound up going psychotic and killing everybody for no reason. I don't know if have you seen that?
It sounds familiar, but
yeah. That is what makes me think of what she was just talking about. That they utilized plant matter and things like that to make the air quality habitable for humans. And so, but I've heard that is actually not far-fetched. It would take a lot, but there have been theories that when you put something like some sort of microbe, or even something as hardy as like a not a moss, like algae, mossy kind of stuff, there is theory to say that it could potentially restart things.
Yeah.
But they're still doing a lot of research into that, and again, that's going to be one of those things where we will not know until we land.
Well, that's the thing, is that like introducing something from our planet could totally screw up another planet.
That has been my theory. So when they sent what is it, Cassini, something, they sent another probe to orbit around Jupiter, which is where Titan is.
Right.
When the mission was over and the satellite was starting to die,
Yeah.
what they did is they had and did a final correction and sent the satellite into Jupiter because they were afraid of causing contaminants to get in on, Titan or whatnot, to stop it from potentially contaminating one of the moons that could potentially have life on it. And so, but then there have been people that are saying, well, there's no way that, because of how powerful Jupiter's magnetic field is and the radiation that comes off of the planet, they're like, there's no way that anything.
It can, because nature finds a freaking way.
They do. And when you stop and you look, okay, so like and this is where it comes down to, when you're looking at aliens and things like that, we are so single-minded. So really? we
Nanu.
Oh, I miss him.
I know.
We are so single-minded, and it's not because we're not intelligent. It's not because we're stupid or anything like that.
Right.
I think really what it comes down to is it's just we can't get out of the mindset of where we are, like how we live, how we breathe, how we eat. It's hard to find that mindset of being able to think of a species being able to survive on, say, CO2 or nitrogen or some other gas that would be toxic to us.
It reminds me of that movie Mars Attacks, where their heads they breathe our air.
Yeah. That's funny because I watched that a couple of weeks ago. And so but
All-star cast, like horrific movie.
oh my god, that was such a horrific movie, but it was so funny. It was so funny. And
The peace. Free the dove. We come in peace.
We come in peace. We come in peace.
Killing everybody.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, because like I said, like when you stop and think, it really comes down to it's because we haven't found that yet. So the declassified UFO materials in regards to the paranormal itself. That is a good question. So with some of the declassified things, it has brought for me anyways, it has brought kind of like other questions. How much is being hidden from us, because when you're looking at, like, say, normal paranormal stuff, you're talking about life after death. When you're talking about UFOs, you're talking about life outside of our planet.
Right.
And as far as mixing them in regards as to the declassified stuff, like, it brings, I think, in my opinion, more questions. How do I put this? It brings a lot.
It's like the fact it's even with the I think that talking about aliens, life on other planets, it kind of does fall into the paranormal situation, because it's like talking about ghosts anyway, because we like people like you don't have any like evidence that we can actually like, you know, physically touch or point
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
And it's now gotten to the point where like you have your fanatics and you have your conspiracy theorists, and it's like, what's real anymore?
Yeah.
So
And-
we don't know.
And
Still don't know.
like some of the declassified stuff that have come out recently, which I'm sure Jim is you know, thinking that there was that one from it was, I think, a fighter jet, and it showed this like almost triangular, like if you stick a triangle and you put it this way, and then you the bottom of it was going that way. So it was like, you know, almost like, yeah, it was almost like a diamond, you know. And so the fighter jet is trying to follow this thing, and it couldn't, like, it was having trouble keeping up with it. And the maneuvers that this thing was doing, there was like this trail of almost like smoke coming from it, but it was only capable of being picked up by like a certain type of camera.
Right.
But it's like when I was sitting there and I was looking at that, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what, this isn't just, you know, some conspiracy theorists doing, you know,
Yeah, no.
poking. This is a declassified.
When you have something that a citizen catches with like a legitimate camera, not something that, you know.
Well, this was a military.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the military. And
But there's things that they can't cover up, like how many people saw that, you know?
yeah. And it's just like, you know, there are a lot of things, and some of the declassified stuff, it brings more questions, in my opinion.
I feel like that there is, in fact, like if you've ever seen Hellboy,
Yeah.
that there is a section of the government that tries to cover up this stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't just mean like Men in Black type stuff. I mean like.
No, I agree. I full-heartedly agree that the government hides.
And they purposely make like. They make light of and make fun of someone who's Bigfoot because. You know, they want to keep it hush hush and just make fun of them.
Well, like,
you know what I mean?
and that's been kind of like when it comes to the paranormal. Okay, you're looking at something that people can't touch, hold, see personally in their hands. You know, some of us witness things, some of us see things. Like I have a friend that swears up and down she saw a UFO. You know, and there are so many possibilities, so many tricks of the mind.
Yes.
That can happen. And I'm saying, like, when we're talking UFO versus paranormal, like the way that we investigate is we go in.
We have machinery that can measure.
We have scientific
can
machines.
Can capture a noise.
Yeah.
So we can point out and say, this is what made this, or this is what did something spiritual.
Yeah.
We have solid
concrete.
Or we can tell you.
Or like, even if it's not concrete, because anything to do with the paranormal, there is not one thing right now that's concrete.
Nope.
You know, that people say that, yeah, I have this, yeah, I have that. Oh, did you see this video? You know, it's showing a ghost, and it's like, but there's so many things that can be faked, you know? So until, and I think the reason, especially when it comes to UFOs, the reason that people have such a hard time believing it is because the evidence isn't tangible. But now there
is no like, you know, the government's been collecting that stuff since.
Oh yeah. Yeah, since Roswell.
Back in 30s.
Yeah. Since before then.
Since
yeah.
before then, maybe. But that's the thing, is that they keep it hush hush and locked away, and
Well, there's even a conspiracy theory saying that some of the technology that we have comes from the government working with another intelligent life outside of humans, aliens. And
wouldn't particularly surprise me.
well, because if you look, okay, so look back in like the 1800s, for example, okay, we went from BCE to CE, okay, and all the way up until just about the 1800s. Everything was pretty much the same. But then there came there came electricity. There came radios, there came, TVs, and it happened in a very short span of time.
It did. They called it technological revolution.
I think so. But it's like it happened so quick. So quick. And what's I guess where I'm kind of going with this is it's like, did we actually discover these things for ourselves, or is the government covering up something? And things like, computers, lights, were these things given to us? Because like when I really do think about it, it's like, yeah, we're smart enough to be able to develop these things on our own, but where it happened, in my opinion, like, yeah, it happened over years, decades, but in the blink of an eye, in human terms, we went for thousands upon thousands of years living almost the same way. And in such a short time span, it went from candlelight to radio, television, cars.
You could say that, because, but then you also have to look at the men, and it was mostly men that came up with inventions.
Yeah.
That
supposedly.
Well, yes. We'll say that it was mostly men, but you have to look at if they were. Like, they were in bounds above society's norm of the time.
Yep.
They were doing something like experimental-wise.
Oh, yeah.
So it could be that a combination of government going, well, do what you can with it, but that it was invented for what times were. Yeah.
Well, and NASA, for example, and this is actually, this is something that's proven. So look at the technology that we have now, okay? NASA has had that technology. So what we have, like, right now, like with my cell phone, for example, okay? When you look at your cell phone, you see where was I going with that?
I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, so when you look at your cell phone, okay, the stuff that you have in your cell phone now, NASA has already had it for years. Like look at the technology in cameras. What we as normal consumers get, we since it believe we're not alone in the universe, what are the views regarding aliens, afterlife, energy interacting with Earth? Earth's inhabitants who died rather. So we'll touch on that in a minute.
I don't know where to go with that.
Yeah.
Just
With so yeah, so NASA has already had it, you know, for years. Like they had, and if you think about it, okay, cameras, for example, what we had for cameras back in, you know, what was it, the 50s and 60s,
right.
what us as normal consumers had was nothing compared to what NASA had. And people are like, oh, well, that's just because money, you know, NASA had the funding, NASA had this, had that, but it's not, that's not true.
I'm gonna bring up something that in Star Trek they have their all holograms that you interact with and such.
Yep.
But it's all around you rather than goggles.
Yep.
Well, that's 24. I think that some of that is from, I think they said the 24th century that you can do that. And when you think of how humans progress, it seems like it's a lot very early for us to be discovering that kind of technology.
Well, like look back, okay? It's a good, I love that you actually brought up Star Trek. If you look at our cell phones and you look at Star Trek, you know, that can't just be a coincidence, you know. And this is something that was around, you know, in an age where things like flat screens, like you had computers taking up, you know, a pretty large chunk of room.
Right.
You had, you know, humongous TVs that had to have these humongous, you know, things behind them. But yet Star Trek, box TVs, yeah, the thing that the generation below us would not understand.
Right.
And
what's attached to the back of the TV?
That's the rest of the TV. And so, but like you look at, you know, all of this stuff, and you see like not just the holograms,
right,
but those flat screen TVs.
Yep, and you see it as fantastical, because obviously Star Trek wasn't meant to be taken any kind of seriously.
And look what
For
happened.
entertainment, and look what happened.
It became reality. It became reality. And that brings in that other question again. Was this all intervention?
It's super debatable.
It is very debatable. And like even what Avalon was just saying, where she said, since it's believed we're not alone in the universe, what are your views regarding alien afterlife, energy interacting with Earth inhabitants who die rather? So when and if I'm getting this correct, I believe strongly that we have interdimensions, other dimensions outside of where we live, other planes. So who's to say that the things that we're seeing that people consider ghosts or spirits, or who's to say that those things aren't just, you know, humans that have crossed over to a different level of consciousness, but we're still able to interact with the embodiment that we live in.
So that would be a thing, like, let's say that we have these advanced people or beings that are living energetically without a body. That's like mind-blowing.
It really is. Well, you know what, so this is a little bit off of the UFO topic, but it's on that, this is on that, in, you know, dimensional thing. So I had a thought one day, you know, I had just watched all of Lord of the Rings, and I watched all of The Hobbit.
That's a hell of a marathon.
And it stopped. I stopped dead in my tracks, and I don't know why this particular thought came into my head. what if, because of how detailed this person's book is,
Right.
what if that is not just something that this person made up in their head? What if it's a memory that they're tapping into? What if it's something that they're tapping into from a different plane?
I'm not sure I follow.
So, say that the Lord of the Rings, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Say that Lord of the Rings, the guy that wrote it,
J.R.R. Tolkien.
yeah, say that he, even though he thinks that he's coming up with, like, you know, some fantasy book and stuff like that, but what if this book that he wrote, and him writing it, wasn't necessarily just something that he came up with? What if it was something that he had lived in another life or on another plane, even?
It could happen.
You know, and like it really, like, it gets you thinking, you know, like, because, and then this is where we kind of bring this back into to you know, aliens and UFO, where, you know, they say that they're interdimensional beings, that there are different levels of consciousness. You know, you look at it through multiple sources, multiple religions, multiple everything, that at some point or another there is, you know, whether it be UFO aliens or an afterlife for us, who's to say that they're not all interconnected into one?
Could be like a hub of whatever,
Yeah,
and then offshoot out
yeah, it could, you know.
space and what have you.
There is so much that's out there that we not only do we not understand it, I don't think we're in the mindset or the level of consciousness or knowledge needed to understand it.
Right.
But I, you know, if given my personal, you know, belief in this, I do believe that, you know, there are other beings out there beyond us.
Oh, I agree.
And
Completely.
like when I look at, say, the paranormal, you know, spirits and things like that, and I look and see, you know, things like aliens, you know,
Mhm.
I kind of I put like a chain link fence in between them. And the reason for that is because, you know, with Avalon's question about, you know, aliens versus, you know, us as people who die, I have to put a fence in between them to divide them, because
Right.
matching them together, there are so many outshoots of that. I don't think that a lot of people would actually sit there and be able to comprehend that, because
Yeah,
that
I
is a
think
lot.
That's a lot to mesh together.
Yeah,
Um,
I believe that there
I
is an
had to
afterlife.
I had to sit back and be like, I'm not sure where she's going with that. Love you to death, Avalon, but
I hope
that was a stretch.
I hope I at least got it somewhat right.
I get it.
Awesome. You're welcome, baby doll.
Like, I get it, but
It's
I wasn't sure where she was going with that.
it's paranormal versus, you know, that, and this is why I put that divide there, because it's so difficult to take them
Agree.
and mash them together, you know.
Yeah, I don't think we're ready for that.
No.
My poor little Madam Wrist brain is not freaking ready.
And neither is mine.
I
Neither
need,
is
like,
mine.
a cheeseburger dinner before we do that.
I know, right? That would be nice. And but you know, I also look at things as you know, when you see,
Yes.
Only
Yeah.
15% of the world population has
RH
RH negative blood. Alien intervention. Potentially. I wouldn't put it bad.
That's what I was touching on earlier.
Yeah.
That there could be alien DNA.
Oh,
within
yes,
certain
yes.
people.
No, I believe so. I believe highly that I believe in that so much that I'm almost to a point of, for me personally, considering it 100%.
And see, that's the thing, is that they weren't, it's not something they necessarily test for unless they have to.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. And there's just so much. There's so much there. And like, part of the reason that I think, like, when it comes to the paranormal versus, UFOs and aliens, part of the reason that even I have trouble, answering some of those things is it's not because I don't believe that they are connected. It's because the knowledge base isn't there.
right. I think it vaguely falls under the paranormal because it fits with the fact that
It's
know,
unknown.
it's unknown and you can't, like, put a finger on.
Exactly. And that paranormal is such a broad term.
It is.
It encompasses so much. Like, for us as ADFP, our team, we follow it.
We're more on the spiritual side of things.
Yes.
Like, we don't do the UFO hunting. We don't do.
Don't get me wrong. Maybe sometime in
It
the
would be
future.
Interesting.
I
It's not
think-
my cup of tea.
I think that just as a curiosity factor,
Yeah.
I think I would love to do it. And it's because it's just one of those things where, like, I believe in the afterlife. I really do. I believe.
Well, that's where I'm going, is that, like, you and I, well, actually, it's a scientific fact that we're made up of energy.
Yeah.
And energy doesn't die. Where
Nope.
do we go when the body, gives up, when our shell gives up, and where does that energy, where does it go? So there is the notion thereof that there is an afterlife because
Yeah.
energy never
Yeah.
dies.
And that has been proven. That has been proven. From my understanding, it has been proven that just because your physical embodiment is no longer there, your essence and energy does not just go away.
No.
It can't. You can't have one without the other.
Right.
So it's like, no matter how you look at it, like, especially with the paranormal, versus UFO and thing like that, like, it all stems down to that same basic principle: energy.
Yes.
And that's what everything, what the building blocks of.
And I think that's where that connection meets through your chain link fence, as it were.
Mhm.
That even an alien life form would be energy.
Yeah.
And where does that energy go, and what does it do?
And that is.
And is that energy, and is that alien energy different than what we are? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Sure, it has a physical form, but how different is what goes to the afterlife, and where does it go? I mean, have a million different notions of humans with religion.
Yeah. Well, and we do. We really do. And
that's
what's
the
right
thing.
and what's wrong.
And I think that's where it crosses over. Maybe that was part of what Avalon was asking, is that,
there are
where
there are similarities.
things we see, maybe that does cross into territory of we're seeing alien energy too, and it doesn't mix properly with necessarily mix entirely with human spirits, and maybe that's part of, you know, why we see what we see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's not to say like
Does that make? I think that makes it. I think that makes it a little easy. Let the fence come up, and
yeah,
because that energy is there, even if it were an alien that died, that energy goes back into the cycle of life, and maybe that's part of things we see that
yeah,
don't necessarily mesh with a human afterlife, or maybe they stay as opposed to like getting reincarnated, recycled, rest and move on. It's hard to say. So
yeah,
that's an aspect of that too. I feel like
it is, and
that makes it a little easier to understand.
That's where, so that, and this is why I say chain link fence. Okay,
Yeah.
This is exactly why I say chain link fence, because
That's
if you
why
put
it
up
can
like a
come-
brick wall, you can't see from one side to the other.
No.
But when you have a chain link fence, you can see the other side. And so there are similarities between the paranormal in things like UFOs and things like that. And this is where, you touched right on that, like you hit that dead on.
I try.
Yeah. And so it's definitely one of those. It's such a strange topic.
It is the way that Avalon put it, so I hope that kind of,
Sums it up.
sums it up a little bit
Yeah.
easier to.
Yeah,
'cause
definitely.
It just to sum it up and say that energy, no matter where it came from,
Energy is energy.
not gonna die.
Yeah, energy is
So-
energy.
That's part of what we study, and like I said, it could very well be that we get
We just made 155 followers on Facebook. Woo! Come on, everybody. Join the dance. Join the dance. It's been a long time. Sorry. I had to be all woo about that. It's been a journey. Let me tell you, it has been a journey. But
we deserve a friggin' cheeseburger after.
yeah, we do.
something
We
yummy.
really do. We deserve something yummy.
Something.
Yeah.
There's ice cream, but I don't want that.
No, I want something. Something. But anyway, so
We've gone off the rails.
there it goes.
Celebrate
Great
good
good times, come on. Let's celebrate.
Do it.
So, but yeah, so I think,
Nemo.
oh my God. I will later, okay? I will at some point.
Feed.
Like,
It does
we all
feed.
need food. We all need food. You know what?
my
That is
God.
an alien concept. We need food.
That's not an alien. We know that concept. That's an alien.
All right, everybody. We are gonna call it a night. Yep. Mwah. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. It was a wunderbar.
Yep. And so remember, here on Twitch, make sure you follow us. If you want to help support ADFP, there is a donate button somewhere down below here. Also follow us on Facebook.
Like us.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Like, subscribe,
Tell your friends.
and comment.
Comment.
Please comment. So like the biggest things that our followers can do for us is like, subscribe, and comment on our YouTube videos, because that will really help outreach ADFP's name into the world.
And like, if you want to donate, we could totally use burgers.
Yes, cheeseburgers too.
Avalon is demanding cheeseburgers.
Avalon is demanding cheeseburgers.
I can have, and it's her birthday. Come on, people.
Oh.
She's special.
Actually, you know what? We gotta say one thing. So we announced that Rissa is the production assistant for ADFP. Avalon has taken on the role of social media coordinator. Congratulations, Avalon. Thank you. Thank
We
you.
hit the jackpot.
Yeah, so
She's good at
ADFP is starting to rise, and we hopefully we have a nice amount of investigations coming so that we can get those out to you guys. But that is it for us, folks. Thank you for joining us. You all have a wonderful evening, and we will see you next Sunday at 6:30. Goodbye, guys.
Peace out.